I've been trying to figure out what to do with my life, and I don't really know. I know the world never comes to an end, or it doesn't stop for me personally, but I've been trying to figure out, where do I begin? I've noticed a few things have changed since high school, and 9/11 hit me really hard when it was pressed toward the walls, and I had to remember that those were the four walls I couldn't lean on because there was nobody really to lean on but myself. My daddy always told me to have my own back, and I learned how to build a billboard behind it, so that's why I leaned on myself. So walking those steps past the water, past the names, it doesn't really come back to me the same. I've been afraid to get on those same trains each and every time I have to go to school, and I know I learned something new, but this don't feel new to me. I know things are repeated just like history. That's why it's his story, my story, our story, but when will we get into the routine of telling a different one? When the world goes backwards and it actually goes on a pause, like this is a DVR that we've invented from way back when things really made sense or change. Because we've all been broke around this world and no one seems to come up with a new routine, a new dream to come to reality. And I'm still wondering, when do I tell my story? I guess I'm waiting on someone to follow me. And he tells his story too.
I don't want to tell you when to tell your story. Matter of fact, I don't know when I'm going to tell mine. Matter of fact, I know when you begin, but if I told you the hour, you would said that my clock was set to being an hour behind. See, this is why time is non-existent, so don't worry about this shit. Okay, like I know the questions that you're asking as if somebody could answer it. No, nobody is meant to. Like, and understand the last one who tried to, well, for me, he died cancerous. I don't even ask these anymore. You can't get past 9/11. I can't get past the time when I dialed 911 and someone didn't live for 11 minutes past that one. See how that can go? Everybody lives in ways that we aren't meant to know. I don't ask about purpose because that seems to feel so worthless. And then if I tell somebody else what I feel like mine is, they'll have their own imagery that they're trying to put upon me. And now I get annoyed by even hearing it. See, I can't tell you when you begin. You're trying to figure out what happens when the world stops. I'm trying to figure out how the hell they sped up the solar system. Like, see, this is when we try to figure out how to reverse the last time that they won to find ourselves a new win. I'm tired of playing with them. I don't care when the world stops. I just care that those who are impacted do more than just sit and watch. I don't know when you begin, but I'm tired of trying to figure out where we end. I'm done watching the clock. See, this is not what this was for. What we are is something that they are not. Why we are is something that's not meant to be written. This is why we do not jot. So poetry queen, do your thing. But the answers, that's not something I got.
That could possibly be why I've always left my pages incomplete. And it's been the hardest thing for me to ever be incomplete. I like to read people more than I like to read books. They become books after I'm done looking at them thick and through thin. And I'm reading between the lines because lies become lines too. And I'm just really not that interested in what you have to do with this. With this thing you call life. And no, I'm not just trying to butter up this little beautiful knife I've got here, but I'm trying to understand, why do I not feel like a cat and I'm still living my life twice? The accidents that have occurred in my life have done more than taught me lessons once, twice, even 3 times. And I'm not looking for any charms because I don't want anything wrapping myself around my own arms. I'm more interested in just learning what the fuck I'm supposed to before I say my goodbyes. I mean my farewells too. To what exactly, you might ask? To the fact that I can't live and go back in my past, even though there are things that I really wanted to last back there, like love life and life. As I heard the beeping sounds come from the monitor, the baby inside of me really thought that this was going to be their new history, and I just didn't know how I could be that creative and look that little girl in the face and say, I am okay with not being who I was designed to be. I'm not asking God to rewrite my own history, but I'm really just praying that he understands that I didn't know what to do. But kiss you goodbye. And I know the right words would have been to say this, but I couldn't say that. So I had to close my eyes again and open the third eye, the one inside my mind that told me I'm just supposed to look at you and say farewell to.
The goodbye sounds so final. Well, don't get it twisted. I'm not the person who can reunite you. But I do want you to know that you can't be incomplete because the whole version of you was never meant to be a fraction of just a moment in your history. See, you were born to be all of you. You are always all of you. See, God isn't imperfect, but God is a part of you. So that's the same fraction that typically tends to be all of you. No one to apologize to, because what you have been through is what you were meant to go through. This is why there's a future version of yourself that still doesn't even know you. But understand, no matter who tries to test you, they can't hold you. And anybody who lessens your mold, they need to grow too. See, I'm only here to be a minor reflection. I'm just trying to show you. We all got a few lessons that I didn't want to respect enough to know, tell them the truth. Some things that I was supposed to see that it was a lot easier for me to walk through blindly, being relatable. So no matter the dark side, where that seems to be taking you, let's speak about things historically. If you could go back and relive a few times on auto repeat, maybe you would see those lessons with a little bit more clarity. But understand, nothing was meant to change throughout your timeline. Everything was meant to be, including you, including those same two that you typically look through. When you decide to go through the third eye, all it will do is confirm the whole view that you had the whole time. See, I want you to know that your pituitary is moving through your spinal line. This is how you know that you are all in the line. Meant. In other words, this is what was meant. And you here now, heaven sent. See, that's why you're here. Again, history could repeat, but all it would do was still equal you feeling this.
And that is why I don't question anymore. I found my answers to all the things I thought I was just knocking on the wrong door. So I'm not going to knock anymore. I'm just going to knock it down. But I will get back up, I promise. And all those 3 questions I had wondering in my mind, like, what is my purpose here? Am I really taking my time to live on purpose, or by purpose, or for one? And for one, I mean by me. Not waiting on someone else to come along and say that we are one, because we're still united in some mindset that we have become one. We just think similarly. And that's the thing. I've never wanted to think just like him or her. I wanted to think like myself. For once, I wanted to have my own state of mind. And that's exactly what I meant. My own state in mind. So I'm never going to second guess any suggestions that you have for me, and I'm not going to mistake. That's exactly it. I'm not going to mistake anything. Only what belongs to me. That's my story, and I live by it. That's my story, and I cry through it. That's my story, and I'm telling it just in the nick of time.
I'm so glad that you know your story. It's insane, but I'm afraid to read mine out loud. So like hearing you say that you've reached a point of knowing, well, that makes me proud. It also makes me feel like, wow, maybe I should face mine, but it takes too much time. And I know most of this time I spent telling you that you were meant to be in the line, but what if I don't know if I'm in my proper place in line and they stay butting ahead instead of me doing what I'd already thought? Instead, I'm being ass out like a butthead. This is crazy in the words that I've never said. Maybe I shouldn't say this aloud right now. Maybe I should just keep it down right now. Maybe as you were speaking, everything I heard you say felt like it was inside of me but stolen. So maybe what I didn't want to say out loud while I was lifting you up is to admit that at the same time I was broken. Maybe it was easier for me to tell you that you were incomplete, or at least to tell you that you were complete, than to tell myself that I need to be whole again. Maybe I was reflecting those things upon you while knowing what I was going through, because it was a lot easier for me to give than to be holding it in. See, I wanted someone to identify with. I wanted to have my story to share in a way of which I knew someone else had this gift. I just wanted someone else to be around to help me feel it like I was uplifted. I wanted somebody to look me in my eyes and say, oh, I see why you're the I wanted someone to high five, and the second that our hands snap just a bit, I feel like someone sees me and understands why I'm going through all of this. I didn't want to be alone, to be strong, to figure out what is going on. I didn't want to have to be stuck singing that same old revolving song. I wanted to make sure that I could help someone else be who they are without losing who I am. So as long as you know why your world is spinning, I won't ask why our minds will have to stop again. Oh. I'm thinking, sometimes some things will never change. Well, kind of like the decision to go back, or the decision to be staying, or the decision to be put in a position where we don't know where you'll be laying, or we'll have to ask where you are or how to find you, or if this is another
together. Stop. You've been locating me since we started this whole thing. That's been the problem. You put my locator on, and was you really trying to locate me, or were you really trying to locate her? And I said low key, because I didn't really need you to give me that drive. I wasn't looking for you to give me anything else but pride, and that's exactly what you feed me every single night, thinking that I'm going to be just fine, and I'm exactly right. That's been your problem since the day I met you. You've always fought me for wrongs, but I have always told you where to go right, right?
See, that's what I don't understand. To tie my hands and cuff my hands and hold me back right where I stand, and it felt like my ego was what I would allow myself to show, and then that's when you would show it your hands. It's like I couldn't understand why you had plans of not allowing me to stand. See, but then you look at me and tell me that it's me holding you back consistently, and I don't know which one of us was born to be a fighter, but I know that both of us was born to be a gaslighter. That's what it tells me, or at least that's what you tell me, and then next thing I know, for some reason, you spell me as being the next igniter of, did we lose this fire? No.
Take a deep breath. That's what you like doing. Gaslighting me. No wonder why you have always been a smoker. You sat by the table that night and told me I'm a good hoster. You led me to believe that you really believed in us, but that's funny because I never believed in trust, and yet you told me everything but the truth. And then I lied there exactly how you told me to. You ruled the world. It's funny because last time I checked, I was the only girl in this relationship that felt like a grown-ass woman to that. You were in fact supposed to be the backbone to me leaning on. Remember the last time you told me I could sing along? But how the fuck did this whole radio go wrong? We've digested so many things. We've gone from A to B and C, and fuck it, we've learned the whole goddamn alphabet. So how could this even be make-believe when all that has come to truth?
Because you still didn't understand that I have to be the G that I was born to be. See, this is where it's funny how somebody made us the Spider-Man meme. Yet you always tell me I'm pointing at you. See, you tell me that I don't tell the truth while you chose to lie, and then you lied in those lies, and then you allowed them to roll up with you. See, yes, I did sit back smoking as you drank 1, 2, 3. See, no need for me to count. Who's counting who's rights and who's counting who's wrongs? I know that there's no need to profess them at this point. Why do we even choose to keep going? Some things, well, some things will never change, and I guess that's what we're choosing to do. Maybe I find comfort in the fact that you seem to continuously do what you do as if it's going to be helpful or useful for me or you. Like, really, there's a door, but no one wants to escort you.
But that's funny. I'd like to escape from you. Last night, I told myself that I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to, and that's lead, out, and leave, about. This time tomorrow, I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be going backwards. I should only be moving forward. That's the way this is supposed to go. I'm supposed to be okay with saying no, but you've justified every single time I told you this is how this is going to flow. I'm not down with all that musical shit. You can leave that behind. I'm not really interested in all you have to tell me each and every time. You love me. You don't. You care, but you won't. And I'm not quite confused as you think I might be. See, I'm made of all those possibilities that you made those other broads believe. I'm telling you this for real. I'm in this shit for real. In this so much that even the footprints that you think you can't touch, I've already redone. Notice how you got yourself in this before, so you have only been knocking on the same goddamn door. As my mama told me, when you date the same type, you type backwards, and you always know you're not exactly going forward with the one you thought you were supposed to be with to begin with. And this is the story I keep repeating. It's funny how we have the same favorites, but when we repeat them, we seem to miss the beat in which we heard it the first time. It's like watching a fucking movie. We missed the same scene, which we were just done watching, and that scene had different colors in them, and somehow the character presented himself differently. And that's exactly what you've done. Presented.
And cut. When I say cut, it's because the same scene that has been shot, we chose to act in. The same conversation that we're having now, we chose to have each and every time and not act as if we're not acting. Like, we don't know how the same scene ends. Like, we don't know how the same movie ends. Like, we haven't been told to do better by all of our family and friends. Like, we're not going to continue to do this same thing again and again. I guess you understand the rhythm. I guess you understand the bounce. Maybe you came to finish every line and jump in on every other rhyme because, well, why not let it bounce? Rock and roll. Because neither one of us would choose to skate. We both should. We both know. But we still both stay on this side of the gate. Will you leave or will you stay? Will you go or will we supposedly do? No, we won't meditate. We won't pray. We will just argue and lie until our lies leave us into a place where neither one of us can escape. Oh.
And you made that different. You made that different for me. Escaping, skating, they've all been on thin ice. I've looked for the escape, but shit, that fire didn't last night. I tried to burn things off with you, but you just told me all the right things I was supposed to do. I keep repeating the same shit in my head because you told me I'm gonna fuck you real good in bed. But my body has been laying to rest for so long that it's been The Walking Dead that I've felt so inner strong. I don't even know what the fuck I'm singing because this is just not the right sing-a-song. So I guess as I keep dangling these keys and I keep walking out that door, I look back at my shadow and I'm saying sorry, but I can't walk like that no more. Oh.